Welcome back to another banger. Today we're going to be playing Free Fire Max Kickoff. Start. Guys, I'm cracked. If y'all didn't know, I'm cracked. Get y'all back when I find a spot. Guys, we landed. Did I just see? Guys, I told y'all I'm cracked. Y'all didn't believe me. Guys, I told y'all I'm cracked. I'm cracked at Free Fire, my guy. Not a lie. Hey, hey, ooh, I shoot her in the stomach. Y'all, I'm cracked. The highest skill count I've ever gotten. Well, my kids probably back then, cause y'all think I'm cracked now. Back then, told y'all I'm finna stop play. And I tell y'all I'm cracked. I mean it. Oh, wow. Guys, I told y'all, I am cracked. Don't play with me. I'm cracked. Cracked. Oh, hell yeah. Shut your hell up. Shoot. Shoot. Got the gun I wanted. Told y'all, I'm crazy. Hey, boo. Yeah. Yeah, stop playing with me. Stop playing with me. But that's all for today's video. We'll see you back in the next banger. Bye, guys. Love y'all.